So welcome everybody to this session of our weekly travel discussion. We're going to open up like we usually do. So we're going to do testimonies between now and our last session, which was last Thursday. So anybody want to share anything? I know last week we kind of touched on wave season and things you can do to get prepared for wave season and how to really capitalize on this time of year, which is the busiest booking season in the industry, actually. So anyone want to share anything, any new clients possibly that you acquired, roadblocks, any meetings, local meetings you've attended, webinars, fam trips, site inspections? The floor is open. All right, so I'll go ahead and kick it off. Today, actually, I attended a lunch and learn, which was hosted by Vacation Express. Of course, if you're not familiar, that's one of our vendors, our suppliers that really Caribbean travel is a focus in Mexico. So they had a lot of good information about charter flights and things like that. But the best part about it, a couple things actually, to meet the staff that we talked to on the phone with customer service face to face, and really exchange cards and the network with them, but also the ability to meet different suppliers and vendors spanning from that region, from different hotel chains. So from Excellence Resorts to Hyatt to Hilton to Royalton, which is Blue Diamond Resorts. Who else was there? It was over 30 different vendors actually. Bahamas Tourism Board, Dominican, just multiple different vendors and suppliers. So we always talk about building relationships. So this is that chance you get to actually exchange business cards and build relationships with these different individuals, because when it comes down to it, they can really help you grow your business. That's what they're here for. Because I mean, basically their performance is based off our performance out here as advisors. So that's my experience I want to share, kind of break the ice. Anybody else want to share before we get started?
Hey Maurice, this is Jamal. How you doing, man?
Hey, good. What's up, Jamal?
Everything. It's been very, very busy. I actually have a client. She just booked her room. She did the luxury Diamond Club swim out suite, and there's gonna be 9 of them that's going on this trip. So that's a girl trip to DR. I got another young lady. We related. She's trying to get her crew together to go to Cancun at the Royalton. I booked 2 more cabins, one for another group and one for my family group. Um, I got Dubai. I had a Sumfest booking today. I got another Jamaica booking I have to do as well. So just been busy, busy, and more busy.
That's good. Busy is good, especially this time of year. That's good stuff, man. Congrats. I'm trying to keep up. Trying to keep up, Tasha. Anybody else want to share?
I'm concentrating over here.
Anyone else? Anyone have any besides myself and Jamal, anyone experiencing a influx in requests or inquiries during this time of year? Where it's January 23rd. So in the past few weeks, anybody seen an increase in people reaching out to you as far as travel?
Oh yeah, Mickey booked 3 more Super Bowl tickets too at 12
Three more
grand
Super
pop.
Bowl tickets. So that's a total of what, like 7, 8?
That's 4. So
4.
4 Super Bowl tickets, 10 All-Star tickets.
Yeah, Super Bowl is right around the corner next weekend. I know how, hotel rates are extremely high right now, but still, there's people going to the game, trust me. are just going to be in the atmosphere. So that's one of those things we talked about as far as leveraging events that are already going on. You think about Jamal mentioned, the big festival in Jamaica for the summer. He asked one to reach out to him about that. We got sporting events, and we kind of touched on this last week too. So yeah, definitely you want to leverage events. Also leverage, significant milestone dates that your clients may actually celebrate, like birthdays, anniversaries, honeymoons, graduation, family reunion. You want to leverage those things as well. This is the time of year that people were really, looking to plan their travel for the rest of 2020 and actually going into 2021 as well. All right. Anybody else want to share? We still got about 5 more minutes. Actually, we got about 7 more minutes.
Hey, Maurice, this is Jolyn.
Oh, okay. I know Jolyn has some good stuff.
Okay, so I had promoted 2 different trips on Facebook, and in the last 6 days, well, that's just these 6 days, I have tripled my numbers as far as by post reach and post engagement. I gained a few more followers, and I have several inquiries on trips. And I think I touched on that from one of my trips. A lady wanted a birthday trip for 12 people, somebody I don't know in Tulsa. And I talked to her because she didn't believe it was real. But anyway, we're trying to lock in that trip. And she actually wants to go to the Royalton in Cancun and not the week that I had originally scheduled at Planet Hollywood. She wants to go the week before. And then I promoted a group cruise because the Allure of the Seas is moving to Galveston. And I'm getting 1 million page shares. And, I'm getting a whole bunch of responses from that, and people asking for different cruises, like, in Texas and Oklahoma and stuff, because I hit like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, kind of like target areas for my post. So that's all I have. I've been busy with trips, and I have some trips already booked for 2021 for people, but a lot of the recent inquiries are for trips in April, June, and summertime this year. So, and as busy as Maurice.
Busy as Jamal. That's good stuff, Joe.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, Jolyn, are you using Facebook ads to promote your post?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And I did one on Instagram too from Facebook.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting, Maurice.
No. That was actually what I was going to touch on there.
To say that.
No, that's just what I was going to touch on before, because I think, Jolyn, you mentioned that last week on the session too, right?
Yeah, I think I did. I talked about it a little bit. And then I'll just, I extended the period, it was ending the ad, and then I kept it going till next week, but I've been getting a good response by running it.
Yeah, triple numbers. That's another way, that's another way you can actually grow your audience, and she can really drill down on the demographics as far as, location, his age as well, right?
That's a great way to get leads too,
Yeah, definitely. Because it's that contact, just like she mentioned, she promoted a post in reference to a specific trip, but then someone reached out to her, in regards to, I'm sorry, I got an email, in regards to something, totally, well, not totally different, but different dates. So it's just that initial contact that she initiated, initial contact that she created, and it just, went into, now she just got to close the deal for that client. So that's good stuff. Anybody else want to share anything before we get started?
Good evening, everybody. This is Javonda.
The queen is in the house.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, they declined insurance. I'm
All
sorry,
right,
go ahead.
you okay? I'm gonna jump on real quick because we're getting some stuff done to the house. Okay, so I lost a client last week, this week, whatever. Kind of like going through a divorce. It was a big one, but it's okay. You pick up from where you lost that client from, and I gained another one. So I got another group coming out doing a cruise for the summer, and then I got another group cruise coming out Christmas time. So I guess my girl is gonna be cruises. Look like my niche, I meant to say, is gonna be cruises. Look like I'm gonna be the cruise queen this year, and I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. So I hope everybody have a good evening.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say you get a lot of group cruises. That's good though. That's good. Good stuff. So I know Javonda, I think, was that last week? I think Javonda shared last week too. I know, I mean, it's just a witness to everybody's business growing. I know she's pretty consistent as far as social media and posting and you know, things like that. So congrats again. Anybody else want to share anything? We got a couple more minutes. Anybody? I see some names of people that I talked to in the last couple of days. I know they got some good news.
And they don't want to share it with us?
Maybe in a noisy background.
Okay. All right. I just need 2 minutes.
Anybody else? Anybody? So while Tasha's doing that, anybody familiar with Instagram and Facebook stories? I kind of mentioned that last week.
I'm familiar with them.
Yes.
Awesome. That was Nikki.
Yes.
So,
Hey, Nikki.
Hello,
Yep.
Tasha.
Hey, Sunshine.
Hello, stranger.
I'll let y'all pick that up later. But so with Instagram and Facebook stories, you know, they're short. I know Instagram is, I believe, 5 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 15 seconds. I use it all the time, and I don't know. But it's a short content that only lasts for 24 hours. And after 24 hours is deleted, you can add it to your highlights to where people can go back and access it. But it's a feature that's actually going to continue to grow on both platforms. And I've found it, especially as of lately, extremely helpful as far as attracting who I want to attract. It's visible to the public, so those who don't even follow you or not your friends on Facebook or don't follow you on Instagram actually can access and view your stories as well, which is huge, depending on what kind of content that you put out there. So I know, you know, we talk a lot about social media, and the reason being is, you know, everything's accessible via social media. It's easier to, as even Jolene mentioned with the ads in the boost for a post, you know, with social media, it's easy for you to just reach out to millions, literally millions and millions of people, just based off leveraging, you know, your close friends network and then that person's network, and it just spreads. It keeps spreading. I've been using LinkedIn as well as an outlet to actually reach a specific niche that I'm trying to target, or market that I'm trying to target. So social media is huge when you think about, you know, advertising or actually marketing your business. When we think about marketing, or when we hear the word marketing, it's, you know, sometimes we think about, you know, we just have to post a deal or, you know, a promo or an ad concerning rates or price, but it's not all about that. Especially with a platform like Instagram, is strictly visual. You know, you have a caption, we can grab, you know, capture people's attention as well. But the first thing they see is what, a picture or a video. So media content like that is extremely powerful, especially considering the fact that a lot of people are visual. So, now we have this big trend about places becoming popular or destinations because it's quote unquote Instagrammable, right? Because people are taking influencers or travelers are taking pictures at these places, and it's actually selling that location for us. So how many people actually use Instagram, if you want to share, to promote your business or your brand?
Yeah, I use Instagram.
Now, Jamal,
Yeah,
Jamal,
that's
have you found it successful as far as attracting people?
Oh yeah, I mean sometimes your social media is like your it's like your stamp as far as people gonna look to see if you actually who you say you are.
Right.
So a lot of times like you may do a verbal consultation. A lot of times I don't even talk to the people because they already looked at who I was. So it kind of
Right.
helps with the brand that I create as far as sending people around the world. So I don't really have to do a lot of talking. It's kind of like they already comfortable. I don't have to go back and forth with the credit card whole thing. I mean, it's like they want to give me their money. I just got to find a place for them.
That's it. That's it. I'm just pulling up this PowerPoint here, y'all.
So I've used the Facebook stories. I use the Instagram stories every once in a while, but not as much as I've used the Facebook stories. But I have noticed that with some of the posts that I put in the Facebook story, there are people that are liking or maybe send a comment that I don't know. And I'm going back looking at their profile to see who they know that I know, and we don't have anybody in common. So when you make the statement that it gets across to people that we don't know, I can attest to that.
Definitely. And the use of hashtags plays a role in that too. I don't know if anybody uses hashtags, but now people can search content via those hashtags. So now you're attracting people, like you said, people that you don't even know, that are viewing your stories, and it gives you the analytics right there. No, this is all free, no extra cost. So all the analytics are there as far as how many people viewed, who actually viewed. So you can kind of see what's attracting people and what's not. So definitely powerful to use social media stories. Anyone else use those features? I'm just trying to pull up this PowerPoint, y'all. I'm sorry. No one uses Instagram?
Yes, I do. And it works. I have had 2 calls this week, and I'm assuming they just randomly getting my name off of social media, and they were calling. One lady was like, "Can you help me with a Canada trip?" And I was like, "Sure." So social media is working. I mean, you put your name out there, they're looking for us.
Yeah, definitely. So, Javonda, as far as them calling you, so I'm assuming you probably had some call to action on your on your on your page that gave them the ability to actually contact you.
Well, one lady, when I did speak to her, she was just like, she was looking for a travel agency. She did Google and my name, Classy Lens Travel popped up. And I was like, it's working. I mean, it's getting out there. And I spoke to her and I made sure she went on and completed my intake form. So I know we've been talking about that in the past about intake forms. So that's a lot of stuff is working. I'm getting a lot of good feedback from social media.
Awesome, good stuff. So we're going to jump into the PowerPoint here. Tasha saved the day because I don't know what's going on with my computer. But This is actually some content that I received. And this is about building relationships again, but it's some content that I received from one of our vendors, and some good information about actually really kind of discussing the future of social media for this year and going forward, and some of the rumors that we've heard over the past maybe 6 or 7 months or so pertaining to the two, Facebook and Instagram, which we've been discussing so far. So these are, and she sends out this stuff, this content time and time again. It's called Quarterly Thoughts. So pretty much it's discussing how in 2020, on the next slide here,
I gave you control.
yeah, I can't,
Okay. I got you.
one second. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So it talks about social media in 2020 and some of the upcoming changes that we have. Some, like I said, are rumors and predicted. Some are just, are actually true. Some in beta testing. And, so just and it's going to discuss Instagram and Facebook as far as the stories like we kind of talked about already. So next slide. So Facebook redesign, it was announced back in the spring of last year, 2019, at the big conference held by Facebook, that there were going to be some releases towards the end of last year, actually, that are still in beta testing. So they're going to put a larger focus on the story feature on Facebook. And if you notice, ever since they, introduced stories to Facebook, they're becoming more and more visible. I remember when it first launched, you could hardly find it on the app, or it just wasn't highlighted as much. Now stories, even when I'm scrolling, and I don't know if everybody else is set up like this, even when I'm scrolling through Facebook, every now and then I'll see a break and it'll have the newest stories posted by my network on Facebook. So their overall goal is to quote unquote turn Facebook from a town hall to your living room, pretty much a more intimate setting, and people get a better look at what's going on as far as what you're sharing on social media. So I know everybody's heard about this, Instagram and possibly Facebook removing the like count. It's been confirmed that Instagram has already begun some testing on this, removing the like counts on posts on accounts worldwide, but it's not something that they've set out to do permanently. Like I said, it's in beta testing as well, but they're doing this pretty much to change the like count because of, mental health, pretty much. We know now with the emergence of social media, a lot of people are obsessed with likes, follows, things like that. So they're just doing some beta testing now because there are claims that it actually does affect people's mental health. So those two are in testing. We don't know if that's actually going to happen. That could actually have a major effect on people who are considered influencers, because their following or followership and the amount of interaction they can actually create between people, amongst people, is that they can actually get paid for that and get, endorsement deals and things of that nature from major brands, because they're actually promoting brands for people. So those are some of the changes coming from Instagram and Facebook. And predicted changes globally, Facebook is going to increase in popularity in the U.S., but they're saying they're seeing a massive drop, about 15 million users actually down in 2019 versus 2017. That's a lot, even though there are a lot more people on Facebook, but 15 million it just shows a steady decline, and it's affecting the 12 to 34-year-old age group the most, and looks like it'll continue to trend that way going into 2020. So that's not saying you shouldn't use Facebook, but you should consider diversifying your social media presence if you're solely on Facebook, and this is what I keep touching on, is Instagram. A lot of people within that age range, from 12 to 34, millennials, actually, you got to think about attention span, and like I said, media. Even when you talk to younger people, a lot of times, and you tell them you're on Facebook, and they tell you that's for, you know, older people. Older people. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but you know, a lot of the people within that age range use Instagram. They use Instagram. They use sorry, I lost the screen. There we go. Instagram. They use, I think it's, I forgot the name. TikTok, Snapchat, apps like that. As far as social media, so I'm telling y'all, Instagram is huge. All right, we can go to the next one. So temporary content like stories that deletes in 24 hours, you know, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, Snapchat, is arguably the most important and is rapidly increasing in popularity. And, you know, it even says here Snapchat is a younger age, under the age of 25. But I just want to touch on Instagram and Facebook stories again. Like I said, when it first launched, if you notice, it wasn't highlighted as well on the applications as it is now. And they're making enhancements to where you can add stickers, you can add, you know, you can actually add call to actions now to stories where people can actually purchase items. They can actually click links. They can contact you via email. You can actually schedule through Facebook and Instagram stories now. So many different things and features that it has now, and a lot of third-party resources actually pouring into these features as well, to help you. And a lot of businesses are actually growing from Facebook and Instagram stories, or the use of them. Canva, which we discussed 2 weeks ago now, is a good tool you can actually use to create content for Instagram and Facebook stories. I use it a lot, as well as different apps like Story Art that you can actually use to create stunning stories and content that actually grab people. So Facebook, I can't stress enough, Facebook, Instagram stories, especially just the use of Instagram, period. In our industry, a lot of things are visual, and we have access to a lot of digital content that people may not have access to, from videos to photos. Even our clients travel photos and videos we can actually post on social media as well to help attract people. So definitely want to, if you haven't already, set up an Instagram account. You can set up an Instagram business account and link it to your Facebook business account, to where when you post on one story, it goes to the other. You post content on your page, it goes to the other. Even with Twitter, you can actually have content posted to Twitter from these platforms as well. So definitely want to get into them with Instagram. I guess we'll do an Instagram training soon to kind of, you know, for those who don't use the app, we can actually kind of show you the ins and outs. All right, next slide. So video content to keep growing earns dramatically higher levels of engagement than text and photo posts. Cisco study predicts that by 2022, 82% of all online content will be video content. Put it simply, getting comfortable with capturing and posting videos is critical to staying relevant on social media long term. I can't stress enough, just rich media content is what really attracts people. You see, when they first introduced video to Instagram, you can only use a 30-second video clip. Actually, I think it started at 15, went up to 30. Now it's 1 minute. And then now you have Instagram TV. It's almost like your own YouTube channel on Instagram, to where you can actually post longer videos. People can actually access. I mean, people actually have Instagram TV shows that they promote. So definitely powerful. Is that our last slide there? Oh no, best practices for 2020. So getting comfortable with Instagram, post to both stories and your feed. Stories are especially important for double the impact. Enable the setting on Instagram that allows your story to post automatically to Facebook stories. That's what I just mentioned here. If you haven't linked your Facebook account to your Instagram account, you have to do that first. Pretty straightforward how you do that. Like I said, we'll probably walk through that next week or in a future session. And use hashtags. No matter what you do on social media, online, searchable content. So just think about this. Your Instagram page is actually a URL. It's a website. Instagram.com/ whatever your page is. So remember to use hashtags because even your Instagram page can populate in the search engine if somebody searches for something, one particular thing. Also, people go on to Instagram and Facebook and just search or follow hashtags. I think we mentioned that on here before as well. And so you want to definitely use hashtags. You want to both use popular hashtags and you want to create your own hashtags to kind of create a trend as well. It's proven that it can lead to new clients and bookings. All right, so the top tips: keep it vertical if you plan to post to Facebook and Instagram. Move slower than you think. And I think those are our only tips there. Building community. If your followers feel like they're a part of a community, they're more likely to engage with your content and spread the word about your business. So just if anybody wants to share right quick, does anybody use Facebook groups?
Yeah, I use Facebook groups for each group trip that I have. Let's say, like, I mentioned before, if you reached out to me to actually book a trip, just so I can remove the responsibility of you being the person that goes back and deliver information, I'll put all the information in a group, the flights, the room categories, and also, create content in there, not all the time, not nothing that's going to make you be like, man, this guy posts all the time. But, I use it more for customer acquisition. Yeah, I mean, it's a great way so everybody can see the information. I mean, people will read it and still ask you what it is. I mean, I don't, that's another conversation, but I like to use it so I can get access to the people that you know. Because once you see who the person is that's delivering all the content, if anybody says travel agent around you, my train of thought is you're going to point them back to me, regardless if they're in the group or not. And that's been very, very successful for me. Very successful. Very successful. Very.
Definitely. Yeah, I noticed you use a group, and that's that sense of community. It's more of a closed setting. It's not just visible for everybody on Facebook, but then that just allows people to engage, and then you can actually address people personally or, easier in that group setting as well. So even here it says start a Facebook group where you and your clients share travel photos. I've seen that to be extremely powerful. Even on your normal page, urge your clients to share travel photos. I shared a instance last week where a client shared one of my posts, and I picked up 2 additional clients from that. Create a hashtag that you share with all your clients. So, come up with your own hashtag, and then whenever your client posts a picture or content, have them use that hashtag as well, and collect content from your clients after the trip. You definitely want to do that. You just want to show, that helps with referrals, testimonies, have them leave reviews, have them leave recommendations on your social media outlets. All of this helps, build that trust factor between other potential clients that you may have as well. So we got one more slide here. Or was that the last slide?
I just want to say thanks to Jamal. That group on Facebook, like all my groups, it does help. Thank you, Jamal. You taught me on that one because I'm able to put all my groups together and just let them have their own where we can always have chats, put all the content that they need for their trips in there so everybody will know everything at the same time. So thank you so much for that.
And no problem. And it's more intimate. The people don't feel like they can't raise their hand amongst, 300 or 400 people. You look at BCG, they go crazy in the BCG. Sometimes you look at the BCG and be like, man, what's going on? But then you have these smaller groups that are more intimate. They don't feel intimidated by, well, somebody may say something that's kind of attacking when, you feel like it's something they should know, and as a travel agent, you know, you may send somebody something, they'll read it and ask you like, wow, and you be like, you didn't read that. So with those intimate groups, it creates more interaction, where they don't feel like, okay, well, should I know this? And if I don't know it, I won't get shamed, things of that nature. So I love the smaller intimate groups.
And it works too. Like we've been doing it as subsets of BCG as well, Jamon, and that works out a lot. And we get a lot of good questions from members that are going on our trips.
Yeah, because you don't want that one that just.
And then we only add the people that actually booked and booked through us to those groups, so that that helps.
So y'all filter down and kind of drill down and put people like an exclusive group.
Yeah, they're an exclusive group. Whoever booked the cruise, like I booked the Harmony of the Seas for the group, and it's only people who booked it, and they ask them like I'm communicating the hotels, everything about it, before the cruise, and transportation and all that through there, and
That's
itinerary and everything goes straight through there to them.
Good stuff, man. The groups are powerful, extremely powerful, especially if you can build your own group from the ground up into large numbers. Nobody else can tap into that content. So this is Instagram here, right? So at the top you see the stories. So I'm just going to show you an example of the way brands. So this is pretty, professional content. This is a new resort. Well, actually, it's not a new resort. It's an older resort that was recently renovated completely in Hawaii. And this is just their story post. So you see, content lasts for 24 hours, and then it's automatically deleted. So you can share posts, and then that directs you to another page. If I go to their story, so I'm gonna go to this particular page here. So if you're on Instagram, if you don't follow this page, follow it because there's a lot of good content. I just use this as a basis to kind of learn as well. Luxury World Traveler, 2.9 million followers. But if you go to the stories, you see there, so look at what we have there, Jamal. Super Bowl. So remember I said call to action? You swipe up and it takes you directly to that website. Now to have a call to action, you do have to have a certain amount of followers. But what they're doing is promoting Super Bowl, suites, villas, hotel rooms. So rich video content. You can do polls just like on Facebook. So you can actually do polls and you can keep track of the results of the polls. Have you been to Miami? If you look at some of their posts, use certain hashtags, luxury real estate, expensive taste, Monaco. So now if somebody's planning to travel to Monaco, if they're on Instagram, it's a good chance they're going to go to Instagram and they're going to type in Monaco under the search. And this is one of the posts that may come up. So these aren't blurry pictures, right? These aren't blurry pictures. These aren't distorted pictures. The ratio is correct. Resolution is good. That's what attracts people.
And you look at Instagram as well, the way other properties and vendors are doing it, they're actually looking for influencers who actually have large followings and they're leveraging that. And now these destinations are becoming Instagrammable. And there's an article I was reading earlier, destinations with high social media potential could take advantage of what they call the bandwagon effect or the snob effect. You know, how places become popular just because of social media. You know, I'm not sure if you guys were familiar with Iceland. You know, the falls. What's the name of the place? I always mess the name up. But Instagram kind of blew that place up along with Los Cabos, and you see what the young ladies doing the dresses in Santorini. So, you know, when you look at social media, I'll say this for me: you can get distracted, you know, and get on there and get to doing other stuff. But if you, you know, be intentional, you really can use social media as a tool. I mean, because there's so many people out here that want our product. You know, sometimes every time I learn something, it feels like, wow, I never thought about that. But just imagine if you did a video every week and you focused on either a destination or a property, did it for a minute or 3 minutes, and you could build a following with that. You know, hey, join my exclusive such and such, or go to my such and such to register. And you doing this for you're doing this for viewings. You know, you may not get the bookings right then, but you want people to see what you're doing. And once they see what you're doing, they'll contact you and be trying to throw you that credit card.
That's right. That's right. So if you look here, I mean, this account, they add everything to the highlights. So that's an archive of different stories that they posted. I was trying to find one that I know for sure had a lot of interaction. So they just did a series of and this one is themed Santorini, so Santorini Coast. So you have polls, they have, you know, video content. You notice they're tagging influencers, tagging hotels, and a lot of the content from this particular page is actually shared across different social media platforms as well. But even if you don't have 2 million followers, I have a little under 900 followers on my personal Instagram, but I still have a lot of different hotels and resorts and properties that follow me because I tag them constantly on content and get them to interact with my page. And that's a form of relationship building as well. You think about it. So, you know,
the cave suite.
don't get just stuck. It's like they say in the whole light thing as far as going away. Even if they do take that away, just think about it. So, you know, don't worry about how many followers you have. Still use this platform to reach people because someone's going to see your page. And then after they see your page, they're going to go to a call to action, as you see here, like a website, a hashtag that's there. That could be your hashtag. They're going to click on it. They can hit message to contact you. They can hit email. And go to your other, you know, your website or wherever it may be, your Facebook page, your Twitter page. So that goes to show as well, you know, make sure that everything we do is professional. We talk about that a lot, but, you know, you represent your brand. Everything you do represents your brand. Believe it or not, every single post that you make on Facebook represents your brand. Every post you make on Instagram represents your brand. Even though it's not your business page, people that want to trust you with thousands of dollars and to trust you with their vacation, make sure they get back home safely. You know, they're looking at your personal stuff too. Believe that. They're doing Google searches on you, everything. So you want to make sure that your content, and we talked about that before, and I'm not trying to police anybody's page. I'm just telling you what I do. I try to make sure I don't post any kind of negative or controversial content on my page. You know, it's just my personal preference and it works. All right, so it's 8:46. We got about 14 minutes, 13 minutes. Anybody have any questions, anything they want to share?
Hey,
I
Bob.
forgot. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you go ahead. You go ahead.
Mm-mm. Okay. I forgot one other thing too. From people following you, especially like if you're in groups and like I'm part of a group and I service that group, you know, travel questions and things. So I've gotten a lot of great clients, and some of these people are on like group cruises that I booked. And one of the clients reached out, and that should have been the most important thing I said in my testimony. And they're trying to book either villas or a resort. Their first pick is St. Lucia, and they said if not that, they want to go to Trinidad or they want to go to Barbados. So, and this is going to be a group of 6 ladies going. But one of the people, because she became like a client through the group, she tags me in a lot of things on her page saying this is our agent, and she'll tag all her friends in it that's going to book our next trip. So, and they all start following me on social media now.
There you go.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is that Jolyn?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you always want to consider, she just said, people are following you. So when you got a bad day, your tire went flat, and somebody didn't give you a chicken sandwich at Popeyes, it's okay to let people know you're real, but do not go too far left because it'll turn people off. Especially
That's
with
true.
the politics stuff.
Hey Jamal, did y'all catch the Vacation Express training? Was that last night?
Nah, man, I got my little girl this week, so I
Okay.
didn't want to, rush back
Okay.
home and be there.
Yeah, I went today to the lunch session at 11:30 today. It was pretty good.
It was.
There's like 30, maybe 30 different vendors there or brands. And Vacation Express is talking about moving forward. They're expanding as far as, different destinations. They've expanded their inventory as far as resorts and whatnot. So
I was trying to catch the one that's gonna come in Charleston. I think the 5th or the 6th, but it's sold out, so I'm gonna miss that one.
well, still keep an eye on it because every single time you're gonna have people that don't show up.
Okay.
So I can guarantee you'll probably have an opportunity to still go. Just keep in contact with
Call Nick.
Nick.
I
Yeah.
did. I talked to him today. I inboxed
Okay.
him today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like, that's a little closer to me. That 2 hours I could drive there and drive back that night instead of trying to get to Atlanta and then getting back to go to work the next day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, Maurice, tell him what you want, man. Never mind.
Right,
He don't
because he
need to tell
always
you.
wanted something.
I know, right? What did you win?
So is it Coastal Mares?
Oh,
3 nights, 4 days. So I know is Urban on here? No, he's not.
That's the place we stayed at, Javonda.
oh, you say not, right?
No, that's the place we stayed at.
For the
Oh.
fam trip?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
okay. Yeah, that's not. No, we stayed at the Grand Palladium.
And where
Yeah,
was the
yeah, that's
Grand
it.
Palladium at?
That's it. Oh, okay. Look, it's what time of night is it? Okay.
Yep.
Oh
So you
yeah,
never
you gonna
know.
love that, Maurice. That's nice.
You never know what can happen. So definitely. I mean, it's been a lot of webinars too. They've been giving away gift cards and
Yep.
just for you trying to expand your knowledge base. They're giving away free money,
Yeah.
trips, and things like that. So just stay tuned. I know it's hard to make all of them, but just aside from even the potential of winning a prize, it's just the fact that you can build those relationships and just learn. You want to definitely plug in.
And you can use that content as something on social media that you learning about a certain resort, or you're about to learn about a certain area in the world. So it's so much content, and content is king. So you got to look at your social media like a commercial. Now, are you gonna be an infomercial, or are you gonna be one of these Super Bowl commercials where everybody tuned in? So
Yeah.
you want to always make sure you have content on your page. And like Maurice said, I don't police anybody's page. But if you call me and ask me about your business, the first thing we're gonna do is go look at that social media page.
Okay. Another thing, I'm not sure how many people are interested in the carnival, but I know I talked to Katie. She came down last year and did a lunch and learn. She's trying to find a place again. I'm not sure if she's going to do Savannah again, but she'll do somewhere close. So look out for that if anybody interested in carnival.
I'm sorry, my audio cut out, y'all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
And you got to
I'm-
engage with people, on your social media posts too, when they comment or they like it, hey, reach out to them, hey, thank you for liking my post, or thank you for sharing my post. That right there is good as well, because you just don't want to post and it's kind of like getting something for nothing. Like, you want people to engage with your stuff, but you don't engage in theirs. Another great idea: birthdays, getting these people inboxes, happy birthday, wishing you many more. Let's get you somewhere next year for that next trip, for that next birthday. So you could always use social media to gain new clients, because once you start inboxing them, don't you notice you start seeing stuff in their feed? And if you seeing their stuff, guess what? They're probably seeing yours.
Yeah, it's all about the algorithms. Because I know we all have friends on Facebook that we never even see any content they post, or you don't see anything on your feed. But if you go to their page, they posted something just an hour ago. So yeah, definitely. That's a good point, Jamal. Good point. Good point. Does anybody use LinkedIn? We got about 6 more minutes, 6 or 7 more minutes. Anybody
I
here use
use it.
LinkedIn?
I
Yeah.
honestly was just getting ready to say. I just was getting ready to unmute myself and say that.
Go ahead, Tasha.
Well, because like my following, and I don't post a whole lot on LinkedIn, but every once in a while I do, and try to promote a little bit. And I'm not typically that one that tries to post where other people are not posting, just to see if I can grab a different audience from everybody else. And I just happened to open up my email, and there are like 10 requests to connect that are sitting there. And I know it stems from something that I had put out earlier this week.
LinkedIn is powerful, and usually it's mostly it is professional. It's an atmosphere for professionals. Yeah, LinkedIn is. I've been using it consistently for the past. I'll say I've always had an account for years and years, but just in the past, I'll say a couple months maybe, I've been using it consistently, and I've noticed, a lot of connections and a lot of interaction. And people there are looking for specific content too. So, yeah, definitely. If you're not using LinkedIn, I highly urge that you start using it. It's a little different from Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all those other places, but it definitely works. Anybody else want to share anything?
I think it all works, Maurice. I think it's more of the consistency.
Yeah.
If you're not getting the interaction that you like, we kind of give up on it. And you never want to give up on it. You want to remain consistent, because when that right person comes, who's ready to go, you just never know. You just can't give up on it because you're not getting the results. And and I say this over and over, on my Facebook page, post for looks, don't post for likes. Likes are just likes. And they talk about that. Some people get 6,000 likes, yeah, that's cool, but how many sales they got?
Right.
That doesn't equate to sales if you're getting likes. That just means you're popular. So
Yeah.
stay consistent with it. Any platform you use, you'll be so surprised how many people looking. And while they looking, they may be talking to other people about your business.
Yeah. Just like the slide said, the whole like thing is really mental, because if you think about it, all of us had posts where you had no likes, no interaction, but somebody contacted you about that post, And just think about yourself when you're scrolling. I know everybody's got caught in the scroll hole before. When you're just scrolling through Facebook, do you like every single post or every single picture that you see? I don't know anybody that likes every single, it's a
No.
few out there that may be like that.
You're probably driving while you're looking at your phone, so you
Yeah.
can
So, but you did see the content. You just
Yeah.
didn't push that button. So don't get hung up on the amount of interaction. Now, if you have a massive amount of interaction, it's not a bad thing at all. But still, if you have no interaction and no likes, that doesn't mean people didn't see it and people weren't interested. Like I said, just think about it. You wake up in the morning and you scroll for 5 minutes. Next thing you know, you're scrolling for 2 hours. Did you like every single post that you saw, every single picture you saw, every single video? No. But you did see things that actually made you stop and read and caught your eye. So definitely don't get hung up on that like factor. So 8:57, looks like it's time for Nikki to close us out.
I was just gonna make a comment.
Yes.
I know, that's why I was saying, yeah. I saw the microphone light up.
I guess so.
I was just gonna make just comment on a couple of things when you're talking about hashtags. Tasha's really good with her hashtag. I think she came up with it about a couple of years ago, but it's unapologetically me. And I don't know anyone else that has that hashtag, but hashtags are so big now. You can't go to a wedding without, here's the hashtag. If I don't go to someone's wedding, I saw someone got married and I want to see pictures, let me click on the hashtag and see the other pictures. And you start seeing other people's pages. So really kind of take the time to figure out what you want your hashtag to be. Don't make it so cliche. Don't make it hard, but don't make it so cliche, that other people have, but make it something kind of unique to you and your business. So that way, when people click on it, they're not having to view 5 million posts before they just see what your hashtag is. That's one. And two, as far as like social media content, I will be the first to admit to say that I created an Instagram business account that's open on Instagram last year, meaning that anybody can go and see my business page and they can friend me, and I'll go look on their page before I decide to friend them. So we start following each other, but I need to do better with posting. I just get so busy and bogged down that I actually need to schedule, maybe once a day go and post. But what can happen is we had another call early this week in another travel group, and we were talking about going live and the importance of going live. And even if it's like, you don't have to have like a whole lot of people, you don't have to be on there for 30 minutes or an hour. You can be on there for 5 minutes, wait, a few seconds for people to come on, give them a minute to come on, and let Facebook and Instagram say, hey, we're letting people know you're going live. And when you get consistent with it, people will start looking at, you're going live on trips, you're going live, in your hometown, but maybe go live just to say like, hey, it's so much going on right now. You can talk, you can have that live feed into other things that you want to talk about. So like, I know for me, I need to start posting, different trips. And I know we did it on one of the travel talks earlier, but Denise Lemon Price had talked about how you can go and find free pictures to post on Google. And so I think that was in like one of the travel talks that we did a few months ago, but that might be something to kind of show people again, like, okay, how do you go and find free content and pictures to show like straight off of the internet that you can post on your page and it's not copyrighted or anything like that. So that might be something to just to kind of refresh people's memory and do it, especially if we have new people come on. But those are just my tidbits. And I think Alyssa had something to say too, but yeah, I'll definitely just say that. But social media, it is out there. I've had people from vendors, follow me and see my Instagram. I do like to see my stories. They've seen my stories, and you want people, to follow, and you can hashtag. and tag people in your story, and that makes them go in comments, do surveys, make it interactive. When I first came into this business, one of the things they talked about was don't make your page just so one-sided. If your people and your friends and family are used to you being one way, you need to show your personality. You are not just a travel agent. If you are a person that likes to have fun, show a fun side of you. Show people that, you do have a life, that you can have fun and things like that. And that just makes you more personable to say like, oh, she or he is just like me. I love when they do this or do that, but they have that travel side. So if they never meet you face to face, they feel like, girl, I've seen you, or dude, I've seen you on social media. I felt like, I've known you forever because we have so many similar things. So, and watch the trends. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that too. Watch the trends. I was talking to my dental hygienist today, and we always talk about travel. And she was saying that she's like, I really want to go to Antigua. Just so happens I've been seeing a lot of posts about Antigua. People going. I know they had had some storm damage a few years ago, but that's just one of the things. And I said right now a lot of people are going. It's one of those countries now that they really, trying to really build there. So, just kind of watch the trends. Okay, that's it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, it's 9:03.
One
Miss
second.
Davis.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. I didn't know Nikki had called my name. I had walked away from the phone and my child said, Mama, so to speak. I was like, oh boy, I was running through the house getting to the phone. But I just want to share, kind of piggybacks on what I heard a part of what Nikki was saying before I ran upstairs. The hashtags are huge. Every group that I create, and when I post, I always create a hashtag to go with that group. It could be anything that I create or something really simple. So I kind of give you an example. I think it was from the Greece group. I did a Greece hashtag, Greecebound. 2021 was the hashtag, I believe. And from that hashtag, a complete stranger found me and said, listen, I have to come up with a group of 20 of us that are going to surprise my cousin for her 50th in Jamaica. And I said, this June? And she said, yes. I said, okay, let's go to group fast. And by saying that, I landed group number 12 of the year today. They put down deposits today. They're going to the Royalton in Jamaica. So I was pretty excited about that. But it came off of a hashtag or anything. But she said that she saw my hashtag on somebody's page that shared. So hashtags are huge. That's all I have for tonight.
Good stuff. Thank you. Did you say you have 12 groups for the year?
Yes, that was group number 12. And I'm pretty busy. And it's very tiring, but it's good. But yes, that's group number 12 of the year. And next year I already have 4 groups locked in. But groups are huge and people are
12
traveling.
groups for 2020. Oh.
12 groups for 2020. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's
okay.
awesome.
And no, I'm not going on all 12. Some of them are complete strangers. Out of the 12, I'm only going on 4 of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I definitely wanted to triple off to a good start.
Good stuff. That's some of that house money right there. That's good stuff.
You're right. You're trying to get this principal down quick, fast, and in a hurry. So you're absolutely correct.
All right. So that's good stuff. We'll close out 9:06. We'll get started next week. Thank you, everybody, for sharing good info. Like I said, we just want to help everybody else, help one another grow. So definitely a good session. We'll post a recording. We'll see you next Thursday. Yep, next Thursday we're good. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Everybody have a good night.